Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Shiva Jaya Jaya Gora Jande Arati Keshoba Shiva Jaya Jaya Gora Jande Arati Keshoba Jana Vitata Vani Jagamana Loba Jana Vitata Vani Jagamana Loba Jaki Nihita Haichat Bamega Dadhara Jaki Nihita Haichat Bamega Dadhara Nikaya Ekashini Vasachachradara Nikate Adekashini Vasachachradara Bose Achin Korachar Ratna Simashani Bose Achin Korachar Bose Achingara Chahat Ratna Simasane Arati Korinha Brahma Adi Devagane Arati Korinha Brahma Adi Devagane Brahma Nara Hari Adi Kori Chadulaya Nara Hari Adi Kori Chamaradulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Gosha Adigaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Gosha Adigaya Shankar Bhaji Ganta Bhaji Bhaji Karatala Shankar Bhaji Ganta Bhaji Bhaji Karatala Madhur Medanga Bhaji Paramarasala Bahur Koti Andrajini Vandana Jubala Bahur Koti Chandra Jini Vandana Jubala Kala Deshe Vanhamala Kuri Jalamala Gala Vanhamala Gala Deshe Vanhamala Kuri Jalamala Shiva Sukha Narada Preme Gada Gada Shiva Sukha Narada Preme Gada Gada Bhakati Vinodha Deke Gorara Samprada Bhakati Vinodha Deke Gorara Samprada Shiva Jaya Jaya Gora Jande Arati Keshoba Shiva Jaya Jaya Gora Jande Arati Keshoba Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Padaya Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pacharini Nivesesa Sunyavadi Paschachadi Satarine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pacharini Nivesesa Sunyavadi Paschachadi Satarine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pacharini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Chaitanya Udicana Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivadi Bhakta Vinda Advaita Gadadhar Shivadi Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vinda Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Haribo Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gauranga Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo. Nita, Nita. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Jai Gora Haribol, 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 Haribol. Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Pavarikacharya Asata Shishmad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Pavarikacharya Asata Shishmad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavindi Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Ram Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Prem Shri Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasiri Go Bhakta Vindiki Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Samaveda Bhakta Vindiki Ganga Mai Ki Yamuna Mai Ki Vrindavan Dhami Ki Mayapur Dhami Ki Jagannath Puri Ki Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Namaste Narasimhaya. Lad lad thai hai, lad lad hiranya kashi purvaksha anya kashi Silatanka nakhala he, Silatanka nakhala. To narsimho parato narsimho, to narsimho. Yatto yatto yami tato narsimho, yatto yatto yami tato. Bahire narsimho hera re narsimho, re narsimho hera. Bahire narsimho hera de narsimho, narsimho. Narasimham adim charanam prapate, Singham adim charanam prapate. Tav kar kamala vare nakha, adbudha shringa dalita hiranyakashipu tanu bhringa kesavadrita narahari rupa jaya jagadisha hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Avakara Kamala Hare Nakha Alita Hiranya Kashipo Tanu Bringa Echavadritha Narahari Rupa Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavarita Narahari Rupa Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narsimha Deva 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 Jaya Jaya Nara Hari 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 Jaya Palat Maharaj Jaya Palat Maharaj Jaya Palat Maharaj Jaya Palat Maharaj Bhakti Vigna Vinash Narsingh Dev Bhagavan Ki Jai Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Devanirari Gopi Jana Vallabha Devanirari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jivanidhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jivanidhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Okay, tonight I'm just speaking a little bit about Srila Prabhupada and some of my experiences with him and some very important features about Srila Prabhupada that everybody should be aware of. First time I met Srila Prabhupada was in 1973 in New York City, in LaGuardia Airport. I was about 16 years old at that time. And the Hare Krishna movement was becoming very popular in the West because there was a lot of people young people that were frustrated with the society. So they had become like hippies, and it was wandering all over the LA and the West Coast and things like that, searching for They were searching for love and searching for peace and these kind of things. And by Krishna's arrangement, his great devotee, Srila Prabhupada, appeared at that time, very momentous time. And so I was living in the Boston Temple, and then that was a year before I saw Srila Prabhupada. And then one day they said, we're going to see Srila Prabhupada. I said, hey, Haribo, we're going to see Srila Prabhupada, fantastic. I didn't know Srila Prabhupada was still alive. So off we went with most of the devotees, the brahmacharis in the temple. We were very excited to see what was this Srila Prabhupada. All we had at that time was a picture of Srila Prabhupada, a painting of Srila Prabhupada on the Vyasa. So every morning with the Guru Puj, we would, chant to Srila Prabhupada. But the thing is that because Srila Prabhupada gave us the process of Krishna consciousness, we were chanting japa, we were following the temple program, we were following the temple schedule, and becoming purified by following what Srila Prabhupada was giving. Srila Prabhupada would never say, just chant or just do a little bit of just worship, He would always make you surrender to become a pure devotee. He would never settle for you just knowing a little bit. And he'd always push you to know more. You should know more. Srila Prabhupada said that you shouldn't wait until the next life. You should take the opportunity that Krishna is giving you now and follow the process and make a success of this life. So it's very important. And so anyway, we went off there to see Srila Prabhupada, and we were at the airport waiting, and we were all waiting in this place. And then a devotee came running down the hall in the airport and jumping and saying, Prabhupada's coming from this side. So it was full of excitement. But we ran, and then I saw everybody falling obeisances, and then I saw Srila Prabhupada. The thing is, you cannot describe fully what your impressions are of a pure devotee. You may try, but you will always fall short. That is the amazing thing about pure devotees. You're favored just by seeing them, just by being with them, just by if they talk to you, if they give you something, if you ask a question with them, any interaction with them, it becomes purifying. This is the mysterious thing about pure devotees. Of course, in the material world, we don't often find that. We usually see human beings that like moderation. Humans, they cause us so much trouble. So it's hard to imagine what a pure devotee is like. So anyway, when I saw Srila Prabhupada, my impression was that that person was very amazing in quality, the quality of the person. If you're familiar with anybody who's familiar with, with auras. Auras, that's the light around a person. Auras, One who knows the science of aura can tell what type of consciousness a person is in by their aura, their radiance, what kind of energy they emanate. So like that, from viewing Srila Prabhupada, I could see that Srila Prabhupada had the most dynamic aura I ever saw in my life. And Srila Prabhupada, his words, when he spoke, they weren't like ordinary words. They're words that could enter into your heart. Very amazing person. When they talk, the words can enter into your heart. And so that's what happened to me. And it was very amazing. And then Srila Prabhupada, when he walked, the first person I ever saw when they walk, it seemed like they float off the ground, like float a little bit off the ground. First time I ever saw that. And Srila Prabhupada had that. And as the amazing thing about Srila Prabhupada, everybody was around Srila Prabhupada like if he was a baby or something very special. Everyone could sense that about him, that this was a special time that God was giving you with this person. You would actually feel that. At that time also, there was the reporters, everybody was getting around and making something. Srila Prabhupada was speaking something. And I noticed that when Srila Prabhupada spoke, it wasn't very easy to understand what he was saying. Prabhupada was giving analogies. Prabhupada was saying that if you water the root of the tree, then you could get water to the tree. But if you just water the leaves, then the tree will die. And there was one reporter, he was saying that, Swamiji, I'm trying to understand you, but I'm swimming in the ocean of ignorance. And everybody burst out in a big laughter. Because Srila Prabhupada was very intelligent. You talk about intelligence, usually when somebody's intelligent, usually in a material way, they know how to understand so many formulas and things like that, and books and things like that. But Prabhupada's intelligence was at a different place. Prabhupada's intelligence was to give you the opportunity to become self-realized in a moment's association. You wouldn't have to spend long years with him to get it, because you could get that in a moment from Srila Prabhupada. That was a very mysterious thing, and we hear that a lot. You hear devotees and the interaction with Srila Prabhupada, you hear things that he did this with me, he said this with me, and it affected me. My whole life has changed because of that. That's the effect that a pure devotee carries. So Prabhupada had that effect. One strange thing happened. At that time I met Srila Prabhupada. I was fortunate because we walked Prabhupada to the car, and I had a madanga, and I was walking and beating, and when I went into the car, when Prabhupada went into the car, he sat in the car and he looked right up at me, looked right into my eyes. And then there was silence. And that in itself was mysterious, because what I saw in Srila Prabhupada's eyes was something very special. That is called, later on I got to understand that is called dristi. It's a Shakti from the spiritual master's vision, his eyes. And that had a nice effect on me too. So these are the things that happened in association with pure devotees. That's why it's very special. Anything you get from a pure devotee, that is the principle of devotional service. The articles that are used in Krishna consciousness, anything that's used by the deity is purifying. Anything that's used by a pure devotee is purifying. You see people have Prabhupada sandals, have Prabhupada cane, have Prabhupada clothes. So that's very important, the pure devotee in devotional service. It is not just your spiritual master, because all the spiritual masters are connected together. So it's not your spiritual master. When you talk about the spiritual master, then you're talking about the parampara. You're talking about the chain of the cyclic succession of pure devotees, coming from Srila Vyasadeva, Lord Brahma even, Madhvacharya, Srila Vyasadeva, Narada Muni. This is the forefathers of the Krishna consciousness movement. And therefore, all these predecessor acharyas are coming down to our time with the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. They're very famous in Vrindavan, the 6 Goswamis, Rupa Goswami. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is his plan? To give Krishna consciousness to the entire world. Nothing less than that. And that will happen, because that's prophesied. And at that time also, I was fortunate we spent the whole week with Srila Prabhupada in the New York temple. It was, we had a little temple in Henry Street in Brooklyn. And Prabhupada was there. Every morning, Prabhupada gave us Bhagavatam class. Every morning. And so you couldn't remember everything because you were caught up in the ecstasy of being in the association of Srila Prabhupada. That captured your whole attention. Nothing else could do that. Nothing else will have that effect on you. You have to know that. Nothing else will have that effect on you except a pure devotee. And so I remember one morning, Prabhupada was giving the Bhagavatam class, and he said actually that he don't come and stick up with me all the time. Don't come and stick up with me. You won't find me if you stick up with me. If you go out and do something for me, then you'll find me. So Prabhupada would chase us away all the time. And he'd be happy. Where's this one? He's traveling, Prabhupada's happy. Because they're spreading the Krishna consciousness. When you spread Krishna consciousness, you know, that making Srila Prabhupada happy. Because Prabhupada's happiness is having souls become happy souls. That's the happiness for a self-realized person, is to see other people become self-realized. So that's was there. And next time I saw Srila Prabhupada was initiation time. I was living in Philadelphia, and we had a Rath Yatra day in 1975 that Prabhupada was there, and he came, and we greeted him at the airport as usual, and it was a very exciting time. A lot of devotees came from all over. You couldn't imagine the ecstasy that was there around Srila Prabhupada. Just that one person. He's not an ordinary person. That's a pure devotee. So it's a different kind of person. Totally different. And so we welcomed Prabhupada, and there was a Guru Puj getting ready to start, I remember, and there was a lot of devotees everywhere, and I was so fortunate. I wasn't even initiated. I wasn't even initiated, and Prabhupada sent to call me to do his Guru Puj. So I was very surprised by that. You know, Prabhupada knows how to capture somebody. He knows how to get a person's heart going in the right place. It's not a false thing. It's not like mesmerization or nothing like that. It's genuine stuff. And so he had me lead his kirtan, and I was so ecstatic and everything like that. And then Prabhupada sent us off again. Go and distribute books, go and preaching. So that's what we did. Our life, young boys, was just like distributing books all over the country for Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes we were helped, sometimes we were sent to the jail. Sometimes we had to go through difficulties for the preaching. Sometimes your temple didn't have so much facility, you know, you had to struggle and everything like that. But the thing is that during the struggles for the spiritual master, that's how you become purified. The reward from the spiritual master is self-realization. That you cannot develop love if it's not personal. If it's just philosophical, then love will evade the person. You wouldn't find it at all. That's why it's very important. Prabhupada said that, you know, you have to come and mix with the devotees if you want to become Krishna conscious. And you have to find devotees that you can have love for and have good relations with. Then you'll become Krishna conscious that way. Because unknowingly, you'll have love for these people. You'll say Haribo, but there'll be love. That's why you say Haribo. And that's why you hug each other. And that will develop in a pure way. And so Prabhupada gave us that, or everyone. And then the next day was initiation. That was another special day. You know, the day when you're going to get initiated by Srila Prabhupada. You couldn't really sleep at night. You got up real early and chant your rounds. All your rounds was finished before Mangalati. And so that was out of the way, and everything. And you could absorb yourself with Srila Prabhupada. But you were amazed by Prabhupada himself. Not just what he did or what he said. You were amazed by him himself, just his form. If he did anything, if he drank water, if he put on a sweater, anything you did, you'd be interested to see how is he doing that. That's amazing. The amazing thing was the aura that Prabhupada had and the penetrating energies that he had personally to give to everybody was something that he got from his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta. This is the way to understand Srila Prabhupada. To understand Srila Prabhupada, you have to understand Bhaktisiddhanta, you have to understand Gaurikishore, you have to understand Bhaktivinoda Gaurikishore, Jagannathas Babaji. Because this is what it's about. It's a connection through the chain of spiritual masters. And that's where it remains pure, it remains serious, it remains genuine. Any deviation from that will cause somebody to speculate, well, maybe I think like that. Prabhupada said maybe is a word for people who are not self-realized. So anyway, that was the morning for initiation, and everybody was excited, and then the Guru pulled, and then we did the initiation, and the smoke from the fire and Prabhupada and everything was all very ecstatic. So anyway, when you something happening amazing, because when I came up to get my name, I walked up like everybody else was in a line, and Prabhupada was giving names. And when Prabhupada saw me, he said, it sounds outlandish, but he says, he actually he said, your name is Bushara, like that. So he said, what's the mean? So that's mysterious why he said it like that, because he was saying everybody else here, your name is this, your name is that. So Prabhupada was always in touch with the future. Development of Krishna, because he could see into the future of the Krishna consciousness movement. So it was just amazing. You know, it's very amazing to be with a person who is way beyond you. If we just mix with people who are just at the same level as us, we'll, remain at that level. And so we're very fortunate. If anybody even knows a little more than us, we can get that from them. And this is where you have to be. You have to be conscious that you can get something from the person. And therefore, you have to be, humble and peaceful and not disturbed by other devotees being honored. If somebody else is honored, that is because Krishna is honoring that person for something. So we should be in agreement with Krishna all the time, what he's doing. And we got to understand by giving everything to Srila Prabhupada, we were actually giving everything to Krishna. That is how we became Krishna conscious, only by the association of Srila Prabhupada. And so, and then the next day after that was the Rath Yatra. So the year 75 was just amazing 5 days of ecstasy. You can probably find that on the internet. There may be some videos of that time. Another amazing thing happened in the day of the Rath Yatra, because that morning, Srila Prabhupada went on the morning walk, and when he came back, we were walking him into his room, and then he turned and he saw a picture of his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta, a painting, and he said, "Who has painted this painting?" And they said, the Bushara, your disciple, right? He said, "That's my spiritual master." Actually, that painting is still in the temple in Philadelphia. And so he would say, if your spiritual master says nice things about you, you advance immediately, It was just the interaction that make it happen. And then, and so the Rath Yatra, we went down and we had this big Rath Yatra, fantastic, hundreds of people, hundreds of devotees. And then Prabhupada is supposed to meet the Rath Yatra downtown. So we're downtown, and here comes Srila Prabhupada with the sannyasis walking up towards the Rath Yatra. So first they're small, and then they're getting bigger and bigger, and we're seeing them, they're getting bigger. And then they right there, and instead of Prabhupada, we usually think that he would just walk up onto the Rath Yatra cart. No, he paid his, dandavats, right? Right in the pitch, in the road. And you heard a sound from everybody together said, "Oh." So it sounded like a big sound. And then everybody paid obeisances in the ground. Prabhupada is the perfect teacher. You know, when you're with Krishna, you pay your obeisances before you just go and sit anywhere. You offer your respects to Krishna. And so that's a teaching Prabhupada could teach by not just giving the Bhagavatam class. He teach by his example. Prabhupada said that that's a charya. Just by his example alone, you could become self-realized. And so Prabhupada did that. And then the Rath Yatra was fantastic, you know, mind-blowing. The thing is, after these affairs with Prabhupada, you would want to run out and do your service. Strange thing. You wouldn't want to remain with Srila Prabhupada. You would want to follow what he said. Go out and do your services. And you'll find me that way. And we know some people who had stayed around Prabhupada a little too much, right? They became familiar, you know, and they fell away. So it's better to find Krishna. You'll get more realization by doing the services. And of course, any time that you could spend, it's not just your spiritual master, it's every devotee who is purified is a representative of your spiritual master. And that is the way now in this time that people will contact Srila Prabhupada. You want to contact Srila Prabhupada, you just have to contact Srila Prabhupada to his disciple, who is in a loving relationship with him. That's where you'll get swift contact with Srila Prabhupada. And because why that is so is you need a person alive. You need a person alive. Because we could have said that, oh, Bhaktisiddhanta, I want him for my guru. He's nice, right? I want him for a guru, right? Then you'll be breaking the laws of the Lord by doing that. You'll be breaking the law. And if you say, well, I want Prabhupada, his disciple can never be like him, then you're also breaking the law too again. Again, you're breaking the law. Because the law is that you follow and you get the mercies through how the mercy is coming down to you. You cannot challenge the mercy. Well, I'll do it without the mercy. And then you're antagonistic towards the mercy. In the material sense, we always we're independent. We can do everything for ourselves, right? That's material life. You know, sorry, I'll take care of it myself. I'll do everything myself. I'm capable. I'm competent. But in spiritual life, that's not the case. You know, in spiritual life, you're always going to be foolish in front of the spiritual master. Prabhupada said, it's not that you're a fool. It's just that humility, right? Is like if you're not humble, then you beg. If you're not humble, then you'll be humiliated. Humiliated is when you're humble by force. Like Srila Prabhupada said, if somebody doesn't want to surrender to Krishna, right, then, you know, at the end of their life, they have to give up like dandavats, you know, full dandavats, give everything up. So that's by force. And Prabhupada said that we can give up everything in happiness, you know, pleasurable. And we don't have to give up anything by force. And so these activities of association with pure devotees, this is what develops our spiritual life. That's why somebody seeks after to get initiation. As soon as you become initiated, then you're very serious. And the Lord takes it serious. Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita, that, you know, somebody who is, if you want to know the truth, then you have to approach a bona fide spiritual master and get connected. That's all. Once that connection is there, then your duty is the same as your spiritual master. And then your spiritual master is enlightened, you also become self-realized by that same thing. And so this, you know, this is, if you don't have self-realization, then what do you have? You know, you have the job, you have some money on the job, and then you're happy like that. But then you still have to leave the body, and even there's no happiness from the spiritual platform. If there's no happiness from the spiritual platform, then as a person gets older in the body, then the happiness just runs out. Everything becomes like finish. And then when that happens, the person hasn't invested enough of their time into developing themselves spiritually, then they're at a loss. They're at a great loss. Actually, there's a big trick going on by the illusionary energy that if you are not Krishna conscious and you're over here, you'll be happy still. And if you are in spiritual life, it'll take so much time for you to be happy, you'll be miserable all the time. So that Maya does that. Actually, that's not the fact, is it? That's not the fact, because Prabhupada said that Krishna gives you a taste even in the very beginning. That's why we say we offer respects to the prasadam. We offer respects to the prasadam, and we're also dancing also. That's why if you're in the kirtan, don't feel unhappy or you're just unhappy in the kirtan. The kirtan is there for you to be happy in the kirtan too. You dance, you carry, if you're too much like a man, a big man, you won't become Krishna. Because, Krishna is with young boys, If you're a big, hard man, you can't make it either. That's why Krishna likes boys. Because young children, what are they playing and happy, and they don't have anything, they're studying who they like, who they don't like, all of this. And Prabhupada was a very, if you see this video, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, you've seen that video of Srila Prabhupada giving cookies out to the children. Actually, I've gotten about 3 cookies from Prabhupada. I wish I had gotten more, but the thing is, I remember the first cookie I got from Srila Prabhupada, right? I was so mesmerized with the whole thing. I went and asked another devotee, what do I do with this, right? Hey, don't show that to nobody. He said if I take it and eat it themselves. That's one thing you don't do. So somebody, hey, this is Prabhupada. Hey, what do I do with this? What a foolish question. And so these are the things. You're like a little child. Actually, your nature is like that. If you forget that, then you become messed up. You cannot become Krishna conscious. You're not being childlike doesn't mean being childish. It's different. Childlike, that's a spiritual quality that is very important to have. Just like Srila Prabhupada was a childlike person. And so the childlike persons, you got to be careful. Don't let other people take advantage of you. When you're a childlike person, you can't let other people who are not like that take advantage of you. You have to be very careful. Do not think everyone is like that. You're developing the qualities that will make you fit to be in the spiritual world. And so that takes time and takes association, and we can get from somebody else gets. Just what they get, we can get from them. That's the way the spiritual life works. We cannot, if we're proud ourselves, then we won't get anything. Because, we're tested by Krishna. We have to pass the test to become a pure devotee. Pure devotee means good qualities. If you don't have good qualities, how are you going to be a pure devotee? Just by taking so many showers, chanting so many mantras, that's not going to make you a pure devotee. Of course, that will help. Being in the mode of goodness, you have to be in the mode of goodness if you want to become a pure devotee. And if you want to become a pure devotee, you have to get the blessings of pure devotees also in your life. That's why Srila Prabhupada, he's making pure devotees. That's his business. They asked Srila Prabhupada one time, they said, what is your mystic power? What is the mystic thing that you're doing? Srila Prabhupada said, my mystic power, I can make ordinary people, I can make them into Vaishnava. Actually, that's a great thing. To make somebody ordinary into a Vaishnava. That's not an ordinary thing. And so Prabhupada was doing that. Prabhupada was making Vaishnavas wholesale. Prabhupada was initiating people. Prabhupada said that every time I smile, I make disciples. Every time he smiles, he makes disciples. And so, Srila Prabhupada, what a gifted person. Everyone who is from India should be very proud of India, that they could produce a person like Srila Prabhupada. And that is not only I'm saying that, that's being said everywhere all over the world. Because, everyone knew about God, everyone believed in God, but what is the form of God? You only get all the clues. If you get this clue, that clue, why don't you just tell me the truth then? I get a clue here, I get a clue here, I get a clue here. That's not going to help. But Prabhupada could give you who God was, what he did, what he is, everything like that, and then you could understand and become purified. So that is the very advanced information coming from Srila Vyasadeva. We should have a nice understanding of those things. And we should aspire to be in good association. The thing is about good association, it's forever, If spiritual life is the persons that you come in contact with are part of your spiritual life, and you'll find that as your spiritual life develops, you'll be thankful to these persons too. You can't become Krishna conscious too much alone, on your own, doing your own thing, and separated from other devotees. It's not going to work like that, because the spiritual world is not like that. That's the material world. The material world is, I know this better than you, you know that better than him. I did it. That's the material world. But in the spiritual world, you have to change and become like a different person. And so that is the practice. To become a pure devotee, not just to visit and see Krishna for a little while. You like Krishna, it's nice chanting. But to become a pure devotee, even if you can't live in the temple, you have to form a program for your own self that will help you to become Krishna conscious, your own self. Nobody is going to come and hold your hand and help you to become Krishna conscious 100%. Even if a child is walking, it's not good to hold a child all the time. You have to let the child try to walk too. So it might be painful. The painful thing is to love others. It might be painful, but you try it and you work with it, because you have to remember that other persons are parts of Krishna too. And then you'll find Krishna that way. Because in the material world, that knowledge is missing, absent. And that's why people are miserable, because they cannot see God in others. And you won't see it anyway, just by hearing it. You'll have to become purified. That is the thing. And the purification is not easy. To become purified, you have to find out what your contamination is. And nobody likes to do that. If you say, to find out what my fault is, I can't find any because I don't like finding my faults. We have the baggage of faults that what do we do with it, Just ignore it. But ignoring it is not going to remove it. Like you have to get an operation, You're feeling sick, you have to get the operation. You're feeling sick, you complain, oh, I have to get the operation. You have to get the operation, just get the operation. You're going to feel better after the operation. But if you say you procrastinate, I don't know if I'm sure, I don't know, maybe I'm sick, maybe I'll die. You don't know. So this very Krishna consciousness, you might see somebody laughing and blissful and singing and everything, but it's very serious business. Very serious. It's serious now if you're living to be happy, and it's serious when you're leaving the body. When somebody's leaving the body, everything is serious. But people, when they're living, they don't take it serious, right? And so, but, Srila Prabhupada is the person that has given us all the help and has brought us to a nice understanding. And then we can see that everyone in the world can become Krishna conscious. That's very nice. And that's a hope for the world. And if we can introduce this Krishna consciousness more and more everywhere, we have a lot of services to do. We have a lot of services we can do, for others. One thing about Srila Prabhupada, you have to have some gratitude for somebody that gave you so much in life. This is what it's about. If you have love, then you develop gratitude. And then you'll do things because you're happy that you're being guided properly. If you just see the spiritual master as a spiritual master, you have to see the spiritual master like your father. And also you have to see a devotee as your brother. You have to actually see this way to become purified. If you don't see like that, if you make one offense of somebody, you'll have to pay. Just like if you go to the spiritual world, if you make one offense, you'll have to get out of it. Remember the four Kumaras, right? They came there and Jai and Vijay, they made an offense. You know, young boys, right? You got to treat them nice because they're devotees, right? They go all the way there and you still treat them bad. This is a nice story. Let's show you about offenses to devotees. Very important. If somebody knows how to not make offenses to devotees, then they'll make a lot of advancement real quickly. But if they don't know that, then they won't be possible. There's a nice story in the Srimad Bhagavatam. This devotee, he went to the heavenly planets, but he was not so purified because there was still some contamination. Because what he saw Lord Shiva sitting, and he saw the goddess Parvati sitting on his lap. And he told somebody else, how come she's sitting on his lap in a big assembly like this? And that was offensive because the goddess cursed him. He had to take birth as a demon. So if we don't learn that here, we won't be able to make any progress to go over there. Over here is like the hospital. We get fixed up. Anybody who doesn't know they're sick here, then they remain here sick permanently. But anybody who knows they're sick, they can get, cure. And this is the cure. The cure is your own cure. You have to become a pure devotee. You're a pure devotee by nature. So it's not something artificial. You just have to get the good association, and then gradually it will develop like that. That's happening all over the world. People who are following Krishna consciousness properly, they're becoming, purified. And that's what it's about. Why things haven't purified people is because other things have some contamination involved. They're eating meat or some lesser understanding, an impersonal view. All these things are obstacles in spiritual life, especially the body. When you think you're the body, you're a loser because you don't know anything. So the whole world is under that influence of the body. All the world wars people have fought, right, is because of the body. I don't like these people. I don't like those people. I don't like those people. So that's not intelligence. In Krishna consciousness, that's the real intelligence. Aham brahmasmi. You're not the body, but you're the eternal soul. So all these things are there. But the thing is, to be a devotee is the Lord picks a person to be a devotee. You don't become a devotee by chance. Just like somebody taking birth as a child, as a devotee child, not by chance, but by arrangement. Srila Prabhupada said that even the demigods are lined up to take birth in this movement. Anytime two devotees get together, then people in the heavenly planets are thinking, well, maybe they make a baby. I want to be there. Because when you take birth as a devotee, that is great. Look at Srila Prabhupada, right? His father is a pure devotee. Can you imagine your father is a pure devotee? That's fantastic. Your mother is a pure devotee. I mean, how good could life get, right? Bhaktisiddhanta, his mother, what a great devotee she is, right? That's one of the greatest devotee women in Krishna consciousness. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's wife, that's the mother of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. What a great devotee. And look at her son, Bhaktisiddhanta. Anyone who could produce a son like that, oh, come on. That's, the greatest blessing for a lady in Krishna consciousness. So in Krishna consciousness is the real platform where everyone is equal in Krishna consciousness. The ladies, the men, the children, everybody is equal in Krishna consciousness. So even if I talk all night, it'll still keep going on until tomorrow, because you can talk about Prabhupada forever, You'll never get over it and you'll never understand it all. But this is the way that Krishna interacts with us, If you want to know something, I'll show you someone, I'll show you somebody. And by seeing that person that I'll show you, you'll find out something. So this is the way Krishna is working. So I'd like to stop it here and take some questions. Questions are important. I try my best to answer them. when you have no questions, that's good too, because that means that you know so many things that you understand everything. You don't have to ask a question just to be, I'll ask a question. You know, it's nice when you don't have questions too, because that means that you're, like I said, you understand a lot of things about it already. And you're very happy to see devotees doing it and being a good example and like that. So, yes, Manaji. I don't know. Yeah, it's not an easy question. Yeah. But there's the mysterious thing about the person, Srila Prabhupada, right? If you try to understand it, you wouldn't be able to understand. Because that's the effect that the person carries by Krishna consciousness. So it's a different person. We have to experience a person like that, you know, we have to aspire towards that. Or you can go and listen to Srila Prabhupada's lectures. Yeah, we're very fortunate in this time that we can have pictures of a person like Srila Prabhupada. Previously, we didn't have any pictures of pure devotees. Bhaktisiddhanta, there's one picture, two pictures of him. Srila Prabhupada is the first person that we have videos and videos and videos. So you have to take advantage of that. And you always have to, you hear from Srila Prabhupada is like everyone's guru, right? You have a spiritual master, he's connected to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is like your guru too. That's the way it's understood. It's not like a Prabhupada is my guru. It's not like that. And so yeah. So that's the mystery about the Srila Prabhupada and devotional service. That's why the pure devotee helps you to find Krishna. You know, and there's no other way to find Krishna but through pure devotee. If you want to go to the spiritual world, right? We don't intend to go to the Brahma Jyoti, you know. We're going to Krishna Loka and where Krishna is. We're not just interested in going to the Brahmani Vulgans. So that means that you have to become personally a pure devotee in personal relationships with others. You know, your wife relationship, the husband relationship, the friend relationship, the children relationship. A pure devotee has the best relationships with everyone. And you'll find that being able to relate to persons qualifies a person to be in the spiritual world. You know, you can't be, you have to be there for everyone. You have to support everyone. And then you'll be Krishna conscious, because you have to remember that everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. If you went out and distribute books, you would find that out. You'd have to be a person that loves other people to distribute books. You couldn't go out and help others if you weren't a genuine person yourself. So that's what the Sankirtan did for us. It made us see that other people, we have to help other people. And that helped us. If you don't know that, then you'll miss the interaction with Krishna, because Krishna is all about other persons, not just us. You know, Lord Chaitanya is just like Prabhupada is interested in becoming Krishna conscious, but he wants us to go and distribute it other places. You know? That's his desire. So anybody who's doing that, they'll find Prabhupada. But the thing is that Prabhupada had this love for devotees that we have to get for ourselves. We won't become purified if we don't have that. So you should really think about how to develop that loving attitude. And what are the ways to do that, and how can it really happen? Because it's something that it won't happen very easy, because it means we'll have to kick out some bad qualities within ourselves. and those qualities keep hiding all the time, so it's not easy to find them. So any more questions? Everybody's, oh, one more question? Yes, Prabhu? Yeah. One thing you can do is you can know about so that answer to that question is that you have to be mature. You have to be the grown-up. And you have to be the psychiatrist. You have to be the doctor. You have to be the grown-up. So that is, you try to avoid, you try to stay away, and you try to avoid situations like that, but you still remain compassionate, but you just stay away from being affected by it because you know what it is. Just like if somebody is a psychiatrist, they know what crazy people do, so they're not alarmed by that. So you have to see yourself as an older brother, as an adult person. Oh, glory to Srila Prabhupada, Nittai Nittai, Hari Hari, back to Godhead. Thank you, brother. Thanks, Madanga playing.
We don't have any sponsor. Anybody would like to sponsor for today's Sunday feast? Please let us know if anybody would like to sponsor. Okay. October 2nd, next week is Saturday is Ekadasi. Indira Ekadasi. Fasting from grains and beans, we'll have Ekadasi Kirtan since it's Saturday, 10 to 12. Or 10 to 12 in the morning, we'll have Ekadasi Kirtan. Everybody is invited here in the temple. Then October 15th, Friday is Ramachandra Vijayotsa, Dasara. So we'll let you know, since it's a weekday, it's Friday, so program will be 7 to 9, but we'll let you know the exact timing details. Then upcoming month is very, very auspicious month, Vurja Vrata, Damodar month, Kartik. October 20th, Wednesday, please note down, October 20th, Wednesday to November 18th, Thursday. So 100 times beneficial, more than the regular days, on November 18th, Thursday. Yeah. So fasting from Varadal the whole month. The last 4 or 5 days will be Bhishma Panchak. Start with Rasa Purnima, ending with, I think, Sarad Purnima. And Uttana Ekadasi, where after 4 months of divine sleep, Lord will be waking up. That's a Uttana Ekadasi. Then Bhishma Panchak starts on that day. So those are the quick announcements. And next Sunday evening, we have His Grace Basu Ghosh Prabhu will be speaking here. Please join us for Sunday Peace program. So, yeah. Take Mahaprasadam. Thank you. Hare Krishna.